Suppose you're a software developer who's in charge of a website, and you're in charge of making sure that pages on your website always load fast. One day, you notice that the average page loading time in June is significantly slower than any previous month. In this chart, you can see that the average page loading time in June is almost 1.4 seconds, whereas in any previous month, it's been just about 1 second. What should you do about it? There are a few choices here depending on the situation, but one of those options is to create a histogram of page loading times. If you create a histogram of page loading times in May, the month before you saw the sudden increase, it might look like this chart. It shows you the distribution of page loading times in this month. As you can see, there are almost 1,000 occurrences of a page loading time that's less than 0.1 seconds, and about 900 occurrences of a page loading time between 0.1 seconds and 0.2 seconds, and so on. And note here that any value larger than 3 is bundled into the last bin. This is a common practice when there are extreme outliers that make it difficult to analyze this data. Suppose you want to compare this histogram with one for June when the average page loading time suddenly became much slower. And suppose that the amount of traffic that you get in June is about the same as the one in May. What you might see is a histogram like this. This tells you that the page loading time has been affected and became slower across the spectrum. Alternatively, you might see a histogram like this one. If that's the case, you can see that only those on the slower end have been affected and have become even slower. Once you have this information, you might then focus your analysis effort on those users, perhaps users on slower internet connections, so you can find the root cause of this performance regression. This is an example that's somewhat exaggerated, but in general, histograms help you understand the distribution of a numeric value in a way that you cannot with simple mean or median alone.